trailer reaction. Guys, welcome back in for a video that I've been waiting since the second I ended my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake with you guys. But I waited till after I finished the DLC just because I think that Yuffie is going to be a major part in part 2. And with that, I wanted to just like wait until I finished that. And so with all of that wrapped up and that whole playthrough done, I am so excited to share the reaction to both of the trailers that launched. The one that launched as a teaser, and then also the one that just launched about, I think it was like 1 or 2 months ago, with a little bit more in-depth kind of showcase of what the game is going to be offering. So with that, let's just dive straight into it. Thank you guys for being here. And also, if you're new here, definitely go check out the playthrough. It was my very first Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and it was just truly an honor. So I am so excited for whatever they throw at us in part 2. All right, let's go. Come on. All right, so this is the official reveal trailer. Let's dive into it. Development footage.
What we've done, that's set in stone. The past is forever. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed. So focus on the future, not the past.
What will become of the planet?
He wants to finish what he started. He wants to reclaim his birthright.
We're walking with him.
And rule over the planet with Jenova at his side.
What is Sephiroth's endgame?
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
Tifa? What is fact and what is fiction?
You were here with me 5 years ago.
That's Zack,
Where are
right?
you? What happened to you?
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard to find you.
Sorry.
Aerith?
Feel like I failed you.
Oh, that dialogue is Zack and Aerith, isn't it? Yes, because he went back to her. Hold up. Go back. I want to re-listen to that. Because now that, okay, that's Zack, and I don't know why I assumed it was Cloud. Hold on, I think some of it is.
Focus on the future, not the past.
Right?
He wants to finish what he started.
That's Cloud, right?
He wants to reclaim his birthright and rule over the planet.
You know, real quick, right here, I feel like it is meant to almost look like we're on the same side, but I almost feel like he's walking in our shadow. He doesn't, I mean, like there were multiple times throughout the part 1 that you see him kind of like whisper behind us or stuff like that. And he was kind of infiltrating our brain in sort of ways, but I feel like there's no way that we're working towards something together. Like there's no way that we're walking in tandem here. He's got to be manipulating us or just kind of hanging in the back, maybe whispering in our ear. I'm thinking major Hellblade vibes.
At his side.
I have that question too. What is his
I saw you
endgame?
lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying?
That is definitely
That I
Tifa
died? That
and
I'm
Cloud.
some kind of imposter?
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
That doesn't
I'm
sound...
trying so hard to find you.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
That was definitely Zack's voice at the end there. Yeah, that had to have been Zack and Aerith talking to one another right there. It had to have been. Which, like, also for anybody that is popping in and hasn't, like, doesn't know the history, I've never played the original or Crisis Core or anything like that. So I have very little knowledge on Sephiroth or Zack. A lot of this is just speculation. But all right, that doesn't give me a whole lot to go off of. I really do like the next... Okay, let's be honest. Nobody is shocked that it's longer, but I will say that I have this thought on every single game. You know what? Do I wish? Look, here's my thing. It's just my number 1 statement is under promise, over deliver. And you guys know as well as I do that games are always over promising. And then I wouldn't say under deliver, but they're always like pushing the game back. Am I going to buy it anyway? Yes. Do I get frustrated by it? Of course. Like all of us. I mean, I am coming in at such a later point in this. I'm not having to wait nearly as long as a lot of you guys have had to wait to see this. So I don't even have like an ounce of the frustration that I'm sure some of you guys feel, but I just think it's funny. Every single time that I see games get pushed back now, I think I just go in expecting games to take longer to come out than whatever their original teaser is talking about. Here's looking at you, Fable. The whatever they're doing with Fable right now, it's just been one massive tease. But I mean, you guys know here, I say it at the start of every single game, like open heart, open mind, zero expectations. Because in my experience with any game that I've taken on, I just have to expect almost nothing, and that way it surpasses any thoughts that I've built up in my brain. So okay, I think that is the end of it, but let's see if there's anything else that they kind of talk about. Yeah, so there's so much going on in that trailer. I think we're seeing them kind of walk. I started to talk about it. I love what she talks about, how the past is kind of set in stone, but the future, even if it's been written, can be changed. And so going back to the end of the game of part 1, the end of part 1, a lot of you guys told me that it was kind of their way of like tying up a pretty bow around a lot, or like kind of assisting the people who had played the OG, closing out some of those chapters to now lead into the next couple parts with even people that had played the OG not completely sure what they're gonna see exactly. So I think that they're wanting everybody to have really like a good original and first time experience with this, and have maybe not as many expectations going into this latter half. So the part 1, it seemed like, was a nice closing chapter for a lot of people, between Destiny, like when we were fighting Destiny and stuff like that. So we do see that there's something happening to the world here. We're having the end of it. And I think we saw a piece of that at the end of the last game. I'm gonna actually mute this while I just kind of click through. This part, I'm really interested to see how Sephiroth and Cloud work together. I was so confused by the ending, and I've talked to you guys about this so many times. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need to have every single answer before I go into the next game. And I know because I'm missing critical information from Crisis Core and OG that I'm going to have way less knowledge on everything that's going on in the game. But I actually like that. And I think going forward, I really would like to not even play OG or Crisis Core before getting to play all of the remake, just because it is such a unique position that I'm in to have zero experience or information about anything with this game, except for some of the comments you guys have said under the YouTube. But okay, let me pull up the next trailer. But yeah, so there's several parts where we're seeing we walk with it. Looks like Zach's gonna have a major part in this next one. I did want to touch on, I have it on 1080, and so like the graphics already, you can tell they've made major improvements. I was looking at this, I feel like Zach's armor is much more like this matte black than I remember seeing in part 1. I thought that his armor was more just like Cloud's, but you can see even the details and changes that they've done in the armor. And look at the leather gloves, like it's phenomenal. And I talk about this all the time. My favorite part to kind of look closely at in the games are the blades and the weapons that they do. The level of detail they put into the weapons in this game is insane. So, all right, let's go check out the next video, guys. Time for the larger trailer. This was revealed at the Summer Game Fest, which I actually think dropped while I was in the middle of doing my playthrough. So I had so many of you guys being like, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? But if I'm in the middle of a game, I'm never going to try to watch a trailer for what to expect next. Look, it is a miracle that I have abstained from spoilers this long for the base game or part 1 as it is. So, all right, let's check it out.
We're still here at the scene of this terrible disaster.
Sector 2.
Caused by a massive tornado which swept through sectors 0, 1, and 2.
Expressway.
Amidst the wreckage of the expressway, search and rescue operations are already in progress.
Red. This was the aftermath. The unknown journey continues.
Wow. Just look at it all. It's so green. Even after everything we've done to it, it's still going strong.
It may look that way, but in reality, it's barely hanging on.
He can feel it.
I was wondering, what's Cloud been doing these past 5
animals.
years? Where's he been?
And you're asking me this?
Past 5 years.
This is gonna sound crazy, but
Chocobos!
as far as I know, Cloud was never in Nibelheim 5 years ago.
The live stream. It is the very essence of our star. The blood coursing through its planetary veins.
Who is this?
According to Hojo, they're connected to Sephiroth. Shadows of the
voice.
Man, I believe he called them.
Sephiroth was in Midgard. We fought him. Whatever happened, he's alive.
Yeah.
Why come back now? After 5 years, doing who knows what.
Whoa.
Well now, think we woke it up.
Angered it, more like.
They have a cave troll. We're gonna be using Barrett more.
Feast your eyes
Red.
on the Turk's
Did you see
latest and
that?
greatest. Elena.
She may be new, but she's still a turd.
Elena. I love Rude so much. Nice. Oh my gosh. The combat. Do you see who I see? Yuffie. Yuffie's joining the team. But what about Zack? We haven't seen anything about Zack.
Keep her away from me!
They say she's a monster, that she can peer inside you, into the very depths of your soul. That
Genova?
she can become those you hate, those you fear, those you love.
Free. Yeah.
You murdered my dad! You burned my village!
Tifa?
You know that I killed her. So, who is she?
Tifa can't die. Tifa cannot die. Early 2024, pending summer 2024. There's so much to unpack in this. First, let's just kick it with what's the most important. There's no way that Tifa died. However, I do think that he is referring to somebody that can become anybody. So I don't think that's actually Tifa. It can't be. Although it's got to feed on, I don't know. Every single time that I feel like Sephiroth is confronted with something, it's like he's obviously done a lot of horrible things. I think that was alluded to in part 1, that he had destroyed their village. And as she even said, killed her father. I thought that he also murdered Cloud's mother. But there's a lot I'm not tracking there. But also, look, I'm just going to say it. If we get to see Tifa in that outfit, be still my beating heart. I will not be able to contain myself. So we're going to see a lot more in Sephiroth in this part as well. Okay, I did not mean to stop on that part. Those you fear, those things. So we get to pick up and see exactly what happened right after, I'm assuming, at least in a cutscene. Because if you guys remember at the end of part 1, or the DLC, at the end of the DLC of part 1, I remember we got to see them all traveling to a new area. I forget what the village was called, but they catch a ride in a chocobo, like, delivery service kind of vehicle or something. The guy was like passing through a town and dropped them off. And we also saw Yuffie riding on the back of a chocobo. And now I realize that must have alluded that we would be able to ride and use the chocobos in part 2, because that was my favorite part that I noticed, was they're riding on the backs of chocobos. Yes. And then you could also see, I wonder if your chocobo has like a lifespan though too. And I could see at some point it said to call your chocobo. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome. This person, no idea who this person is. They do mention Hojo again, so I'm sure we'll see Hojo. We didn't see any mention of Scarlet, but we did see Yuffie. We also, interestingly enough, we didn't see anything about Weiss and, oh, what was the other guy? Nero? I didn't see any mention of them, but we did see the resurgence of the Turks and a new one called Elena. So that will be interesting as well. I love how they always call it like the unknown journey continues. Because at this point, I'm just trying to track, does anybody really know the direction of the game? And then this whole part, this just looks like Aerith's dream. And honestly, I think that the only thing I would have done differently in part 1 is I would have loved to see more vibrancy and life and earth and trees and greenery, right? But we're gonna get that in this one, and it makes sense that you don't see that in part 1. Like, it completely makes sense. And in fact, I think that's why I was so drawn towards Aerith's home and the church, is just the flowers. It, in contrast, Midgar makes Aerith look even more special than I think any other. Like, if they had this kind of scenery in the first one, I don't think we would have understood just how incredible the ancients are. So I like what they did with that, and it made sense. So I love that we're going to see this. We're going to see a lot more life too. So we're going to see, I saw there were some, I think, deer, we've got birds, we've got mountains, streams. It's just beautiful. Let's see what else we got. I know it's coming through a little. You've got meadows that we're crossing through. You can see that we're playing as, I don't recall ever seeing it show up with Yuffie's health bar, although I know there was a scene where we got to see that. I do want to fix on one, I want to point out one thing right here. I think Red is now more of a playable character than ever before. Yeah, check it out. We've got MP limit, because Red before was a passive character, but now I think we're actually going to be able to control, because you can also see that ATB bar. You've got the MP, the limit, which is going to be cool to see his limit. I don't actually recall what his limit was, if we even saw that in part 1. We've got a new Turk inbound. I wonder what her backstory is going to be. And outside of that, just the combat looks similar, but you can tell that they've improved it in some strides as well. So I'm so looking forward to it. If Tifa goes down, I'm gonna cry. I already know. This part makes me really worried, but yeah, let me know y'all's thoughts and feelings down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a little bit of a trailer reaction and then my just initial thoughts on it, but I'm getting really excited to play it. I think I couldn't express enough how much I loved getting to play through Final Fantasy with you guys, and it just is unlike any game I've ever played before. And so in a lot of ways, I look back and kind of wish that I had played it as a kid, but at the same time, I think my experience in not having any playthroughs of Final Fantasy or any knowledge of the franchise as a whole just makes the playthrough even more unique. And a lot of times my analysis is going to come from that. And so it's always important to remember that, like, anything I'm predicting or saying is from somebody who has no knowledge of the series or the games or anything. Even though I know they're all standalones and stuff like that. I never played Crisis Core, the OG. So yeah. Interesting stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. And again, thank you for anybody that watched the Let's Play playthrough of it. It was such an honor to get to play that and share that experience with you guys. I have now become a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, and so I'm looking forward to, we're going to be going on to Final Fantasy 16 next, and then after that, I don't know where we're going to go next. I think we're going to take a bit of a break from FF, and then I'm sure I will come back to it for part 2, and I'd like to do other games as well. So with that, guys, I look forward to playing this with you guys. I hope y'all enjoy it and love it as much as you guys loved the first one. But all right, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, YouTube.